Welcome back to the channel. Today, so I have had this steering box on my rigs for about 10 years. Drilled and tapped it and rebuilt it about 10 years ago. And right now the seal is leaking pretty bad. That's just this morning. I could put a new seal in it, but this bar is also pretty bent. I did stuff this with 250, but hit it a lot. And that has started to groove out. So either way, I got to cut this off. The 3-link setup on the front of this with the Hydro Assist actually works really well. That's why I haven't changed it. But I figure I do lose a little bit, like if I flex down all the way on the passenger side and all the way up on the driver's side, and then I try to turn all the way driver, I lose some steering angle, which usually isn't a big deal. With the WeRock stuff, it definitely would be nice to have full turning locked like angle through travel. So I figured might as well, since I have all the stuff anyways, go to a full hydro setup. I don't have mounts for this currently, so I figured I'll probably just throw this ram on for now, and then if I need to, I can throw this one on later. This is a 3" by 9", so I'd get a little bit more angle out of it. But this is being an 8" 2.5, we'll see how it works. And then I have the orbital and a couple other things. I also have this mock-up orbital from Urban 3D. Check them out, they got a lot of cool stuff. This weighs nothing, it's threaded, which is pretty cool, and it's the same exact size. So that'll give me an easy way to mock all this stuff up in here without having to lift the heavier one and worry about getting sparks on or anything. So we're going to get started by taking all this apart and get ready to cut everything off, clean the axle up. All right, so looks a lot empty up here. We stripped everything down. This bolt, it's a big grade 8 bolt that spans the knuckle to kind of spread that load and double shear it. It's bent, so most likely we have to cut that one out, which kind of sucks, or unbolt the top knuckle, one of the two. But either way, let's cut this off real quick, and then that way we can start building up the new setup for the full hydro. The plan is to come up a little bit, get a little bit more clearance, and then I know on the other buggy we did a full hydro setup. I had made some changes already to it, so essentially it's going to come in a little bit tighter here, so I'll show you when we get to that. But let's get this thing cut off and cleaned up so we can start building. All right, so this is the double shear tab that I used on my high steer arms. So I just cut out some cardboard and made it so that essentially I can copy this, but I want to move the hole to match the other side for the full hydro. All right, so basically I copied this side, so this portion here is what I wanted to copy. So if you line up that whole outer hole, it'll line up with that bolt. So this is on currently the outer hole that goes through the knuckle. We want to retain that just so we can keep the top connected to the knuckle, but that will move my steering point to the same spot on both sides. Before the steering, the tie rod was on this on both sides of the same spot, but the drag link was here, so I'm going to reuse that with the ram. That also moves it a tiny bit closer to the pivot point. Probably won't gain much angle there, but might play around with that at some point, so I just want to make them the same. All right, so I got the ram all mocked in with this new arm. So now we just got to get it all centered and where I want it, and then start playing with the skid plate and mount. All right, so this should be pretty close to where I want everything to live. This is my old drag link or tie rod. I figured might as well use it. It's good material, but it was grooved out on the ends, which was out here, so not really good for another vehicle. So I just figured I'd reuse it, and then I used some new material here. It's all 1.5 inch 250 wall, and then obviously the quarters plate I cut out earlier. Right now this is just barely tacked in. It's going to get bolted, and then I want to make sure everything clears before I go too far. So I'm going to start mocking up the steering. So I got the column adapted into my column, and then I just got to get the orbital figured out in the mount, and then I can run the lines and test this. Making some new tie rods to be the correct length. Let's weld it out. All right, we got the orbital all welded up. I made another little gusset there, so it's super solid, and then cap these all in. I did do a couple stops right here so that it doesn't just rely on the bolts. Now I just gotta find a couple longer bolts and make sure everything works. I already checked clearance, but I'll turn it lock to lock real quick and just show you. and then I just got to replace the bolts and we can test this thing. So I made a huge mess with everything, but off of quick measurements, I gained about 4 degrees of steering, maybe 5. Off of this setup, to get any more, I would have to, I had to adjust the stops and everything already, but to get any more, I would have to cut this off and go 4-link, which I'd like to do, but I'm trying not to let that snowball roll. So it's pretty much the max it can get unless I modify all this. And yeah, so pretty happy with it. Let's hope it does good once I get the tires on and start driving it, and then tomorrow we'll go test it on the trail.